So in this video, we're going to be taking our Ford Lightning and we're going to be doing max payload capacity. And this is not going to be a towing video. This is actually just going to be hauling in the back of the truck. So we're going to show you how we loaded all this stuff up, what it is, weight-wise, and we will hit the road and go. So setting up our onboard scale thing here, we're going to do our estimated. I'm going to have it on to where a limit alert will come on. We'll go down here. I've got all that on. We'll hit confirm. And it should show how much we can get. So it looks like payload is 1,826 pounds on this, which is kind of cool. We'll go into scale mode, and I think that would be somewhere near 0. So we're going to go ahead and leave this one going, and I'm going to start putting some stuff in the back. Let's see if I can get this lined up right. So to get our payload up, we've got 1-ton chain hoist. These are pretty cool. First people in the US, I think, to have them. They're battery powered. So no cables going to it, and it's all Wi-Fi that goes to them. We're about to load up a couple of these until we have reached max payload and see how everything goes. So we've got our tonneau cover folded up and about to put these guys in there. We will see how much of a difference it makes on the weight on the inside. I'm going to try to drive carefully. So I'm only using one fork. We'll stop there and come down. Maybe I need to come up a little more. Just don't want to grind on that back. So coming down. Sweet. That should have all the weight onto that. So we'll look and see if our scales are showing anything. So they did move a little bit. Load is secure. We ended up getting 5 motors, and this cable are going to end up being right at our payload capacity once all the junk that we already have in there and myself are in there. So here it is. We're about to take a trip and see how much it affects everything. Try to get it as close to the legal limit as possible. We have got it right in there within, I believe, I think it was 20 pounds is what we estimated. So we did use the scale, and it said that we had added roughly, I guess that would be 1,100, right at 1,050, I guess. So 1,050 pounds of cargo onto the vehicle from what we had. So this will be max towing capacity. We did have the limit alert turned off when we were putting everything in there, and we didn't hit it, so that's good news. So we're about to turn the truck off, start it back over. This was at 2.2. It's been running for quite a while with the air conditioning. Didn't affect much at all. So turning off, opening door, closing, and restarting. So now we should have everything ready to go. We'll be going in sport mode where we get the most regen. And when we get out, we will turn this to where we have one pedal driving and auto hold on. But while I'm getting out of these very tight corners I've got myself into, I'm not going to be using one pedal. So we'll get out and hit the road. We've been able to film all of these videos on the same day, even despite having the tire rupture from the road construction. So doing, at the current moment, 1 mile per kilowatt hour, that should go up pretty good. And wanted to come back on just to show you guys that we are at 34% range. But keep in mind that is after hauling a generator for 30 miles, 7x16 enclosed very tall trailer for 30 miles, and then doing the empty truck for 30 miles. So we're about to do some regenning here. Pretty nice. So as you can see, I can't see anything out of my rear view mirror, but I can hit this, and you can see the sides, which will help a little bit. We can see how much our bed camera is beneficial. Wherever it is, there it is. And then you can still see a little bit over this, even when the tonneau cover is up there. So with that regen, we're back up to 2.7 miles per kilowatt hour. And we'll see how much having a bed full of stuff and max payload capacity is going to affect the truck. So we're at 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour, 2 miles in, got stopped at another red light. So in town, it might actually help your mileage a little bit having this extra weight in it because it helps it to regen better. I'm sure we're about to see a significant drop when we are achieving the 65 miles per hour. So after this red light, the rest of the trip, which will be roughly about another 13 and a half miles, is going to be going 65 miles an hour. There are no more stops. So this will kind of be a realistic video to show you if you have weight in the back of your truck and you have a significant, I mean, pretty much max payload is what we had showed, that, and you can't do that while you're driving, by the way, how much it will affect. So the vehicle has to be in park for you to be able to do that, which is kind of sad. So it is pretty neat that it has that as an option, but it does have to have the vehicle in park. So far we have 13% as our climate usage, 13% as accessories, which is also surprising to me because nothing is hooked up to the truck right now. We're not charging any phones. None of the power front or the rear inverters are on. I guess it's just this inverter, which is sucking up some energy, which is kind of interesting. So we will keep on driving, and just sitting here because of that, we went back down to 2.5. About to get a green light for us to go. So we're about a third of the way in on our trip. We're doing 1.9 miles per kilowatt hour. You can see Belmont Mansion, a bunch of other stuff's out that way, which is pretty cool. So we're doing a lot of uphill climbing on this part of the trip, and then on the way back we'll be downhill climbing. You can kind of hear the Blue Cruise telling me I need to watch the road, even though I am watching the road. Just having my phone up in front of my face blocks its view here. So here we go at 1.9 miles per kilowatt hour, still doing pretty good, third of the way on the trip. So we'll keep showing you what's going on. So we've made it 2/3 of the way, and we are at 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour. So this last little bit is not as uphill as what we just did, so hoping that will go up some. So it is showing that, I guess so far, that the extra payload in here is going to affect the mileage. Hopefully it's not going to be much at all, but we'll see. That could also be from having a tonneau cover that is open the way this one does. Or the Ford Limited we have, it has one that's like a garage door opener that just kind of folds forward instead of laying flat against the rear windshield. So we'll keep driving and get you some updated numbers. To approach the end here, had a Dodge Challenger just a second ago that got up to the side of me wanting to race, and I really wanted to smoke him, but we won't since we're doing the video. So getting to recoup quite a bit of energy, barely pressing the brakes. Pull in where we've been pulling. So it looks like we're going to end up at 1.8 miles per kilowatt hour, 15.8, and 1.9 on that, which is kind of interesting. So that's of course going uphill the entire way, so now we're about to go downhill and see how it affects everything. So we will clear out trip 1 and get it going. Coming down that hill, ended up we're up to 2.8. Be careful, we are behind a big old rock truck. Be terrible to get a flat tire and a busted windshield in the same day. But 93% driving, 2% climate, 3% exterior, 2% accessories, and we're at 91 degrees. So about to get over in this lane. Hope I don't regret that. And we will put it in Blue Cruise, and we'll keep you updated. Noticeable difference here. So doing 2.5 miles per kilowatt, 2.7 now. So by the end of this trip, we will have driven today 120 miles, and that's going to be 30 miles of towing a generator, 30 miles of towing an enclosed, very tall 7x16 trailer, 30 miles of what's in the back of this right now, which is max payload of chain motors, and then 30 miles of also driving with nothing, so kind of our control. So, and by doing the math on that, it's still, we've got 65 miles of range, we've still got 25% battery. That's pretty awesome. I mean, that means that we are going to be able to go quite a bit. So even by the time we get back, we will still have 35 miles of range left. God, it'd be more than that, so we only have to go 15 miles to get back. So we will have 40 miles of range. So, or 50. Can't do math today. So I'll still be 50 miles of range after doing quite a bit of activity and this truck having to idle for quite a while to get the tire repaired today. So this is going to be 21 miles so far on this trip, 1.9 miles per kilowatt hour combined of the going uphill and going downhill. We're at 3% climate use, 93% driving, 1% exterior temperatures. There's a Corvette that we could probably smoke. I don't know if he's going to try to race us or not. I should probably step on it to do it. He didn't race us though. I really wish I would have raced that Challenger earlier. So, pretty cool. 2.3. We just went up a hill, going back downhill again, so we'll gain some more momentum. Nothing has changed as far as our temperature of our battery or our motors. And the Blue Cruise is great. We own a GMC Denali Yukon, and it has Super Cruise. And it really doesn't hold a candle at all to Blue Cruise or Tesla's self-driving. It's almost useless unless you're on a main highway. At least this and the Tesla, if you're on a highway that's not traveled much, it won't let you do complete hands-free, but it will allow you to have the hands assisted. So we will come back on at about the 10-mile mark and let you know how everything's going. But right now, 2.4. So we're right at that 10-mile mark. We got 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour. So a little bit better than when we were going uphill for so long, bringing our combined to 2 miles per kilowatt hour, which is not bad at all. So we've got a little bit more, sorry, just trying to get it to see that I'm looking at it, and it did not want to for some reason. But pretty good mileage. Let's see if it will go back into Super Cruise, or sorry, Blue Cruise. Pretty good mileage for it to have as much weight as it has, being the max payload. Very happy with that. So overall, if you need a truck and you're just going to be hauling a lot of weight in the back of your bed, you really can expect your mileage to not be affected much at all from this truck. I mean, it's pretty much what we would be getting regardless, and that's full payload. So hauling a trailer does affect it a little bit. The generator did not affect it much at all. Hauling the black trailer that we have that's so tall, it definitely affects it, but payload doesn't seem to be much of an effect at all. In fact, it's helped us coming back down the hills and has not created much more wind at all. So getting close to home, 2.4. Didn't get to stop and regen, get any energy back where we had the blowout in the tire, but not bad. Still got about 2 miles to go. Still putting our average right at 2.0 miles per kilowatt hour, which is just great for this truck. Just really happy for the outcomes of this. So it's going to give us a lot more data to think about what we can actually do for our shows and how far we can drive and all that good stuff. We're about to regen some more here, so maybe that will bring our numbers up. See if we can focus here while it regens some. Who knows, the light might turn green before I get there. There we go. Also, as I mentioned in all these other videos, not having to use the brakes. So with not having to use the brakes, they're going to last for quite a while. It's just me letting up and letting it do its thing, and it stopped me before I got to that vehicle. Brought us up to 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour. So we'll start this video back up when we get back to the shop. That brings our average up to 2.1. We just pulled back up to the shop, and we have got 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour, 15.5 miles for a combined of going up there back of 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour. So not bad. So each one of these trips is 31 miles, roughly 32, and we did 4 of those trips. So pretty wild. We're going to see how much power after I get it unloaded and how long it's going to take for this to charge, or the estimated charge on our system, and we'll give you a little bit of data on that. But still have 22% and 55 miles of range after making all these trips with weight in basically 3/4 of the trips. So we're gonna back into this little hole and get everything. Nothing shifted. About to take everything out, and we'll hook it up to the charger and make it. So overall thoughts on this truck? Pretty easy. Very good for towing. I would definitely buy another one. I think it did great to be towing the type of stuff it was towing. I've never had a truck be able to handle and do what that one does. So we're going to hook this guy up and we're going to see how long it kind of estimates it's going to take for this to charge. So we'll go ahead and close that, lock it. Might have to turn the fan system on, we'll have to see. So this is a guy off Amazon that hardly cost anything. Allows you to do up to 32 amps. Yeah, you can really tell from that. So you can do 32 amps on this one. We've got another one we bought aftermarket inside the truck that will do 40 amps. And I haven't had to supercharge this or the Tesla. Just charging at home is what works well. So I'll get on the Ford app. We'll kind of see how long it takes. I will say one thing that is kind of weird on this. You do have to set your limit for your power charge every location that you're at. So I almost charged to 100% here, which is never what I plan to do. We try to charge 90 unless we're going on a long trip. And so had to go in there to the app and set that to 90. But it's got this nice little thing that shows you how much percentage you have left. Ford thought it out pretty well. Tesla doesn't have stuff like that. There's lock, unlock. So now that I have this locked, supposedly I can't take that out. But we're going to let it charge and we'll go to the Ford app and show you what we think. So we're currently at 21%, 54 mile range left. We're charging at 6.9 kilowatt per hour. You can see on there we've only been on there for 1 minute. So estimated time, it's going to be 3 in the morning before this is charged. So it's going to take close to 12 hours for this to charge from 21% to 90%. That is, of course, on our 32 amp charger that we have. If we were to do the 40 amp charger, it would be a little bit faster. If we were to supercharge, it would be way faster. It'd probably be less than an hour for us to get back up to where we need to be. So I'm happy with that because most of the time we can charge at the destination that we're at and everything will be fine. So no problems except for the tire, which has nothing to do with the actual vehicle. I was very happy with it. But if this is helpful, please hit like and subscribe. And we will keep videos coming. Just let us know what you'd like to see.
So as you can see here, we ended up adding 93.9 kilowatt hours. Ended up taking 17 hours and 19 minutes for it to charge, which I don't think that's right. I think it actually took 12 hours. That's how long it's been on the charger. So not too terrible. And we're back. It says 255 miles, but that's based on what all we did yesterday. Typically it shows somewhere around 290 to 300. Most of the time 290 because I charged to 90%. But overall, not terrible. So 93.9 kilowatt hours times how much our electricity is here. Cost us $9.85 to do all the stuff we did yesterday. There is no way in a gas-powered vehicle that we would be able to get anything that great. I mean, let's see. We ended up doing 139, I believe. And we'll take our average of, it would have been 7 miles a gallon with the trailer. And then we would have gotten, realistically, on the highway about 18. So let's just be nice and call it 10. So it would have been 13 gallons at right now 330. So it would have been about $45 in gas, which is pretty wild. So that's wild. Really 19% of the cost. So not bad at all. Please hit like and